All right, let's make a bit of a raw video. I'm in Italy right now. Does it look nice? I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. Anyways, so I have lived in Europe the past 9 years, and this is my review. I'm just gonna do it all in one take. As an American, I was born in Kansas City, Missouri, and I lived there for about 8 years. Then I moved to Italy from 8 to about 11 or so, just because my dad's Italian, and I think we just wanted to switch things up a little bit. And then, what was after that? Then we moved back to the US. Lived in the DMV area in Maryland. Went to middle school and half of high school there, and that's kind of where I started my filmmaking career or videography journey, as I kind of fell in love with it in high school there. Shooting sports games. I had my first video production class and all, and that was, I remember my video production teacher, Mr. Boswell. I always tried to push his buttons by doing things I wasn't supposed to do in class, but I really loved that class, really did. And then halfway through high school, my family decided to move to France, Paris, to be more precise, because my brother wanted to play football there, and he was there already for a little bit, so we just picked up and left. I remember a week or so before leaving, my mom asked me, "Chris, what would you think about going to Paris right now?" And I said, well, I mean, it sounds cool, but I didn't really want to because, I was getting acclimated, I was getting my friends and starting my video production journey. But yeah, then a week later she said, "We're leaving." So that was that. And for the next 7 years, so I finished high school there in a private school, and then I went to the American University of Paris where I studied marketing. All of that was a crazy 7 years, and this is what I learned basically. So first things, let's start off with the environment. My lifestyle changed so much from the US, where I would need my mom or dad to drive me everywhere I went. Now I was in Paris, which has one of the best public transport systems in the world, and yeah, so I could go anywhere at any time, and that was amazing. That was one thing I really loved about Paris, and I found Europe as a whole, there's a lot more independence at a young age just because of means of transport, and I feel like also the general maturity of the youth. So that was that, and it was really fun. I'd go to school by myself, come home by myself, do whatever I want in between in the day, and it was a real culture shock from just waiting for my mom or the bus to take me to school or anywhere else, because in the US you need a car to go everywhere and anywhere. Anyways, so what's next? So yeah, Paris. So that's one thing that was nice. Transportation, a lot of freedom. Another thing, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place to create content. Although I find it all kind of looks the same, except for specific areas where there's the Eiffel Tower, or I don't know, the Louvre, or the Arc de Triomphe, or something like that. And it was all kind of the same. All the roads kind of looked the same, which was a pretty aesthetic, but I definitely kind of got tired of it. I feel like I did a shoot in every street, and also because Paris is tiny. A lot of people think Paris is big. Paris is tiny. You could literally walk from one end to the other in about 2.5 hours. And I literally walked that entire city. But anyways, let's talk about it. So Paris was pretty. It was amazing. The food was mediocre. I'm just going to be straight up honest. I think that French cuisine is a little bit overrated. They have some good dishes, but generally I found, there was not much variety, and going to a random restaurant in Paris would kind of guarantee a mediocre meal. You really had to research and find places that had good food. So, so food was okay. The people, this one's a bit controversial, or no, actually probably not even that controversial. But the people weren't fantastic. Let's just say. I would say some of the coldest, most backwards people I've met. were in Paris. Now, I'm not saying this is French people as a whole, because also Paris is very mixed with a bunch of other cultures. But anyways, yeah, it was that was also another culture shock, I'll just say. But I got kind of used to it. I adapted to it, and I learned how they were, and yeah, people weren't very nice, and I found even meeting them outside of Paris didn't really change anything. So yeah, which is funny because one of my best friends is French. So anyways, but I met him in high school in the US, so maybe he changed a bit. I don't know. Anyways, this is not a racist video. I'm not against any nationality. Oh, my phone's ringing. Thomas, not no. Anyways, so yeah, people were, now this is the country where I started my business career. You know, I was doing videography in the US, but in France is where I made it professional, where I started shooting music videos for classmates. What else did I do? It started off a lot with music videos and stuff, and that was fun, but this kind of deepened my dislike of the people there, because one thing is dealing with them on a daily basis. The other thing is working with them, and working with them is even worse. Very unreliable, and it was kind of rough. It was very tough. A lot of promises that just weren't met, and I disliked it a lot. I really just didn't like it. But I have to, give credit where credit is due. Give on to Caesar that which is Caesar's. And that's where I started my career. I started to make money, learn the industry. I got jobs, a lot of freelance jobs, really random, whether it was barber shops or, music artists, as I've said, interior design companies. It basically started off my portfolio. And it's actually one of the places in the world where I got my favorite shot, which is an FPV shot of the Eiffel Tower, and we won't talk about that much. But anyways, that's that. So that was quite the experience. University there was fun. The American University of Paris was a very easy school to pass, to graduate. It was definitely the most expensive school you could probably go to there, as it had like American tuition prices. I think it was like 36 or around almost 100K a year, basically. And I graduated in 3, because I had some IB credits. But anyways, that was an experience. I was with Americans mainly, and in Paris was because Paris is a very fun city. I'll admit, it's a very fun city because just everything is there, and it's all pretty, and there's just so many people and all that. Anyways, that was Paris. Now, once I graduated from university, I was living alone, as my family had moved back to the US for their own work reasons and all. And, I was trying to get things to work out over there. That's a weird bug. And it wasn't super easy. Hold on, am I losing sunlight? I'm going to have to probably open that aperture up in a little bit. Yeah, there we go. That was, so I was figuring things out alone, but it was quite tough because Paris is a very expensive city. Rent was very high, even though I did stay at my mom's place, but I still had to pay rent, and which actually wasn't that bad now that I think about it. But still, Paris was very expensive, and I was, trying to figure things out at like 19, 20, 21. How old was I? I don't even remember. And so, yeah, hold on. Here's a Vespa going by. You guys hear it? Bzzz. I'll never get tired of those vehicles. So that was that. But then after about a year or so, I got tired. Paris, unfortunately, is a city where it's very difficult to start something on your own. If you've already made it in your industry, then it's an amazing place to go to, which is why celebrities go there. But if you're up and coming, it's just unfertile soil. It's really hard to grow shit there. So I knew I needed to make a change. That paired with the fact that the weather is pretty much always shit, which was depressing. Also, if you make visual content like this, today I wanted to make sure there was a day with some pretty light, and I would say today has some pretty good light. But no, it was just, it was depressing and dark and moody, and the people were cold and the food was mid. So I was like, okay, I got to do the opposite. So shit weather, cold people, and dark vibes. I completely switched it up. I bought a one-way ticket and went to Rome, Italy. Now, I'd lived in Italy before, and Italy is different than France. It's very different culture-wise and all that, but obviously Italy is not perfect. Now let's talk about Italy. So, I lived in Rome. Rome, the weather was amazing, the food was amazing, and the people were probably the nicest people I've ever met were Romans, for sure. They just have amazing energy. I didn't feel racially profiled. I didn't feel judged. It was just love, and people loved to love there, and I loved it for that. And so that was Rome. Rome was beautiful. I went there. This is where my dad started to help me out, because I kind of got back in contact with him my last months in Paris, just because I hadn't spoken to him in a while, but that's its own conversation. Anyways, so yeah, and Rome was amazing. I started working for an influencer for a little bit. This basketball player girl, she was cool, but then I got a job as a video editor for a company in the north. And already there were so many things that were different, with the people, the culture and all that. I feel like it was difficult in France to take steps forward because there were so many loopholes and things that just made things more complicated than they need to be. Since my work is really based on quality of content, I found that the Italians really appreciate quality. They take a lot of pride in what they do, which is why their food is known worldwide, their cars are known worldwide, their engineering is even known worldwide, because they just take a lot of pride in what they do. And it's important to them. So for them, quality is important. And I feel like the content I made for companies was of a good quality. So I was able to, move a lot further there or here in Italy within 3 months than I did in years in France. So that was one thing that I really enjoyed, was just people appreciating good quality. Like, they're like, yeah, that's great. And so, hold on, I think I might need to add a little bit more light now. 2.8, 2.5, okay, because the sun's going down. And so that was that. Italy is great, was great. Now, Italy isn't perfect though. I am now in the north of Italy. I'm in Parma, which is where my dad's from, and where I lived prior for those 3 years I mentioned before. And it's really chill out here. It's very pretty. It's very inexpensive compared to Paris. Even Rome was way less expensive than Paris, and I really appreciated that, especially as someone who's young, who's trying to figure things out. But yeah, then I worked for a company in Bologna. That one I had to travel to, but from Parma, which was really close. And they were cool, but kind of weird. And then I got probably one of my biggest jobs, which was over this past summer, which was working for Fi Beach, which is a beach club in the island of Sardinia. Again, beautiful place, just absolutely beautiful. And that was an amazing experience as well. And but let's talk a little bit about the cons. Let me try that again. Let's talk a little bit about the cons. I haven't done this YouTube thing in a while, so speaking is difficult. I think I'm fine exposure-wise. So the Italians are a little slow with things. From a bureaucratic angle, it's kind of hard to get things done. It took forever to get my ID, my health card. And just as things are really slow. I think it's because people here just are here to enjoy life. They don't really understand the rush of anything, and it's just not that deep. They're here to enjoy life. I feel like Italians have been on Earth forever, and they know that even the work grind is kind of pointless. So just enjoy your life. And yeah, but that obviously comes with its drawbacks. There are very few people who are, out here grinding for stuff. So things are a bit slow, and yeah, double-edged sword. So yeah, that's that. But it makes you really enjoy life. If you have a good income and you got yourself situated, it's a beautiful place, I think, to even raise a family or retire. or whatever, because things are just beautiful. It's safe. I always felt very safe here, even in the most dangerous places of Milan or Napoli or Rome. Rome, I could walk around at 3 a.m. and not feel scared at all. Kind of in Paris was the same, but Paris was different because it was just because everything was perfectly well lit. So it's really hard for things to go south in the heart of Paris. Outside, obviously, is a bit more dangerous. But anyways, I digress. So yeah, people really enjoy their life here. They spend a day sitting at a cafe and just talking. There's a lot of human connection, which is something that I think is amazing. Something that's lost, something that I don't even know if exists anymore in the United States. And I'll get back to the US towards the end of this video, which probably shouldn't be too long from now. How long have I been talking for? God, this is a bit of a yapathon. I apologize. Anyways, so yeah, Italy's been great to me. I've gotten some great contacts, some great content as well, and food's just great. It's hard to be sad, I think, when food is amazing, because you eat 3 times a day, maybe 2 times a day, and if you always have to look forward to a great meal, then the day can't really be shit, so yeah, just also it's healthy. Ingredients here and all are healthy, unless you put bad ingredients. But that's, I think, Europe in general compared to the US. There are a lot more regulations which prevent corporations from putting crap in the food. Anyways, yeah. So Italy is amazing. That said, the chapter of Italy is coming to an end. Wait, I think that's a little overexposed. There we go. It's coming to an end. Italy has been amazing, and I will definitely come back, but I'm 24 years old now, and I feel like I want to take a step in a more business, a more financial, progressive state. I've been able to make money here, but nothing ever crazy. And and I think the fact that things are a bit slow here makes this a society that's amazing for adults, or midlife adults and the elderly, which is why there are a lot. But for the youth, it's a bit difficult. It's a bit slow, and I feel time's going on, and I'm not progressing as fast as I want, because I am a bit greedy like that. Like, I want things to move forward quickly. I'm not that patient. So yeah, I'm going to be moving back to the United States. I've signed a contract with a company in Kansas City, Missouri called J29 Creative Group. They're a marketing agency. I saw a content creator position there, and I was like, why not? And I applied and interviewed very nice people. I'm super excited to bring my expertise and my languages and my experience from Europe over there. And I went to KC about a month ago, and I loved it. It was such a fun experience. I went with my friend Tom, and it was just so sick. I got to do so many American things. And I look forward to go back to the US. I will miss Europe. Europe is still there. Europe is really old and doesn't change that much. So it'll still be there, and I'll definitely come back. But I think right now my next step is the US. I want to focus on my career, making money, so that I can afford more things like homes and not wives. I didn't mean to make that plural. Oh God, that's gonna cost me. But anyways, so I can afford things more like a family, and I can always come back to Europe. But anyways, that's pretty much it. And I'm taking this next step. And Europe, I love you. You're beautiful. I still have my European passport, so I'll probably come back soon. And that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hopefully this was informative in any way possible and enlightening. And definitely when I head back there, I'm going to be making a lot more content as well, even personal content for my YouTube channel. And I love you guys. I love Europe. I love the US. Both have their pros and cons, and I look forward to going back to the US and taking that next step. So thank you guys so much for watching. It's Chris here. Hold on, I feel like I should do this as far away as possible. step in a bear trap. This is someone else's property. Am I far away enough? I hope I'm still in the frame. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I wish you guys the best. Follow your dreams, follow your heart, and you really can't make bad decisions if you feel like they were right in the moment. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video, all right? Peace. Bless Europe.